as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day.
I know as much about the gentleman we're about to meet as you do. Absolutely nothing. But he's coming to us through a mutual friend, David Carter. His name is Chris Townsend, and he has a lot to do with the music industry. I've been avoiding him all morning because I didn't want to chat with him first before we came on air because I don't want you to miss a thing. Chris, you've just come off the plane. Welcome to Marbella.
Thank
you must be
you.
exhausted. You were up at what, 2 in the morning?
Yep, very early.
And this is your first trip to Marbella?
It is actually my second or third to Spain. Yeah.
Unusual for a Brit. We kind of like seem to come to this coast, but it's lovely that you're here and you've come for the film festival. That obviously is something to do with your life, but I kind of, if you don't mind, thought as we know nothing about you, we could go to the very beginning. Where were you born?
I was born in Camden in London.
Very cool now. I don't know
Yeah.
about then, but it was very cool
Yeah.
now. And what was that like?
Oh, it was a great upbringing. The social side of life was really interesting. There are a lot of exciting things happening at the time during the 60s and 70s. There was revolutions in many different
Were you
avenues.
into flower power and into
A
love
little
and
bit.
peace
My parents were more into that, and my big brothers. My brother became a person who worked in music, hiring bands and putting on shows. So he was a promoter, and he was involved in bringing over some of the big names of the 60s. People like The Doors and
I loved
Joni Mitchell.
Oh, Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
American Prayer, that was one of the first things. We had to take a poem to school, and I took American Prayer. They said, no, Nicole, that is not suitable. When we ask for a poem, we don't mean Jim Morrison and American Prayer. Anyway, what kind of music then, how did you get into the business yourself? Because I have this feeling that you also are in this kind of line. David hasn't told me anything. He said, meet the guy, find out for yourself. Okay.
Well, there's a little bit in the family. My grandmother was a singer during the war. She would travel around to where the army was stationed, places like Dunkirk even, and performed to the soldiers to cheer them up.
The power of music.
Yeah. And so that developed into the family in a big way. I think my brother was involved in the movement around 68, 69, during the student era, I should say, involving himself with putting on festivals and shows. And I was a young 12, 13-year-old following him around and placing myself into the environment that he was creating.
It must have been a crazy time for you, very exciting. Were you
Yeah.
allowed to get involved, or were you too young to really be in what everything was going on?
Yeah, I was too young, and I had my first taste of alcohol at the time as well, and it wasn't to be adored by my parents, but it was just a fantastic time. And then in the 70s, I was at Kingsway College, a further education college, after school, where I met Johnny Rotten and Sid Vicious, Jar Wobble, Timothy Spall, the actor.
The time of the King's Road, when it was really...
Yeah.
What Camden
yeah.
is now was the King's Road then.
Well, I actually went and worked for a promoter called Adrian Hopkins, who had a management company, a print company, and also was, I heard, was the person who set up Nebworth and the Reading Festival. So at an early age I had a lot of involvement in what was going on in the music industry, I suppose.
And where has that brought you today?
Well, after so many years, I got involved with bands in the 70s from printing T-shirts and developing artwork. I was responsible for the Setting Suns album of The Jam, and involved myself mainly on tours and following music where it took me.
I remember going to a Jam concert and then coming to Marbella the next day and having to come on the plane with the neck brace because it had been such a good night. It's like, takes me way back. Wonderful years, wonderful, exciting years.
Great.
Do you feel that you have suffered for those crazy years?
Not really. I didn't overdo it a lot, but at times
you made it through.
Yeah, I got through. A lot of friends and people around me from those days aren't here today. So.
But you've been working with some pretty big names yourself.
Yeah.
I heard the Marleys thrown around there somewhere.
Yeah, I was introduced to the Marleys through a lovely person called Lepke. He was Rita Marley's brother. We grew up together. I knew him about around 40 years. Recently, unfortunately, he passed away. I got involved a lot with the reggae acts of the 70s as well as the punk acts, being out on tour with the punk bands, and then when the shows finished there was nothing to do, so we went to a kind of evening full of reggae which would carry on till the early hours of the morning, blues bars and various venues that kind of took us on into the early hours of the morning.
A lot of people don't like to take their work home with them. Are you a music fan yourself? Do you like music?
I love it, yeah. I play a little bit myself.
Yeah, what's your, oops.
I play piano and harmonica. Yeah.
Do you write? Do you compose?
Yeah, I do, but that's all kept to myself. I haven't exposed it to the public yet.
But you have a production company that you do help others get in the limelight, to promote, to make sure that they fulfill their dreams?
Yeah, we run a company called Mac Music Limited. It's a cafe. There's a radio station, one of the biggest British hip-hop stations in the country. It's called Itch FM. And we have a recording studio.
FM?
Yeah.
Because you're scratching that itch.
Yeah. And we have a venue, so we put on acts and bands every night, 6 nights a week. We have different various genres of music performing. Sometimes it's drum and bass, or it's reggae, or it's singer-songwriter. And we have a very successful evening which is called The Artery on a Thursday night. Gets well attended, and we have 20 odd performers coming and doing their own thing.
Wow, sitting there all quietly as if nothing's going on, and he's got everything going on. I would say the typical venue owners like just everything very quiet. That is very impressive. Whereabouts is that located?
That's in Kentish Town, NW5.
Very cool address as well.
Yeah.
So you're doing quite nicely, I assume. It's all sitting there all quiet.
It's where I've been set up since around 86.
So established.
Yeah.
And obviously one of the venues to go to. Any ideas of maybe opening up something like that over here in the sunshine?
It'd be interesting.
It will, wouldn't it?
Let's see where
life
takes us.
Exactly, exactly. Well, it's brought you here to Marbella today. I hope that you really enjoy your stay and that you actually get out and about, go to see all our wonderful places, because Old Town, please do not miss the Old Town. I know you'll go to Porto Banús and what have you, but please do not miss the Old Town.
Okay.
You promise?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, then we'll let you live. Chris, really nice to meet you. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of you.
Thank you.
Chris Townsend, Mac Music.
Thank you.
How cool is that?
Hey, hey.
Yeah, I'm here in Marbella, but it says here I'm in La Canada.
If you haven't mastered the lingo, don't worry. Linear Director has a free GPS geolocator service that will come and find you.
Hello everybody, welcome again to our wonderful program. My name is Lily and of course I represent AAA. Normally I'll bring a dog, but today I would also like to show you our wonderful cats. Well, at least one of them that came in just a couple of weeks ago, very, very tiny. We do have a lot of cats. There's nearly 180 to 200 cats at the moment, and we are really looking for people to adopt the cats as well. At the moment, the cats are coming in a lot, and a lot of little ones. So we have a lot of tiny ones like this little one. We haven't given her a name yet, but I guess I will call her Mimi for now. If you're interested, you can come to AAA and look at the little kittens. Cats are extremely very important. You will probably know that there's a lot of street cats. If you live here, you will see them everywhere. If you come on holidays, you will see them as well. The street cats are okay. Unfortunately, they are there. They cannot help being there. But what we do from AAA, we have several people going around all the time, catching the street cats as much as possible, so that they can be vaccinated and sterilized, because that is the most important thing for the street cats, is sterilization, so that we will not end up with a lot of little ones like this. If you're here on holidays, you will see that a lot of the cats will have a little clip out of their ear. That means that they have been sterilized. The wild street cats can usually not be placed in families unless they come to us this small. Then they can be domesticated and then they can go to a family for adoption. But the bigger street cats we have to put back on the streets. But at least they're sterilized. They will not continue producing little ones. You can feed them if you want, but there are colonies where several people in Marbella will go to feed the street cats. If you see street cats without a little clip of their ear and they are approachable, please either catch them in a little cage or call AAA or any of the other shelters that have cats in your area, so that somebody can come to pick them up and have them sterilized as well. Feeding is wonderful because they will start trusting you, but only feeding is not enough. So please feed the street cats, but if you see any with no clip in their ear or piece of their ear, contact us or catch them and contact us then after, so they can be sterilized, which is one of the most important programs at the moment to stop the breeding of those tiny little ones and getting more street cats out. Although street cats are not always welcome, but they do good work. If they are in a community, they will catch the mice and they will catch the rats. So the most important thing is that they are sterilized. And then just feed them, and there's always people in the area that will feed the street cats and take care of them. So please come to AAA if you're interested in a little kitten or a dog, of course. And I'll see you next week, maybe with another kitten or with another dog. And remember, don't shop, adopt. See you.
A big thank you to Roya and the pharmacy for hosting this week's Marbella Now. It's always a pleasure to come here. It's such a relaxed, wonderful atmosphere. And if you want to look after your health and well-being, eating this type of food is without a doubt should be on your list. We've had a wonderful week meeting people I'd never met before, and that's the beauty of having 147 now different nationalities registered on our town census. If you're not empadronado, if you're not on the town padron, please go along to the local town hall, to the tourist office, get your paper, fill it in. It's nothing to do with taxes, but it will really help our city keep clean, get doctors, the policing that we need, because everybody registered on the town hall actually gets an allotment of money from central government. So it's really very important that you do that if you spend any time at all in Marbella. If you want to see past recordings of this program, plus the full coverage of our United Nationalities of Marbella Summit 2018, please go to our website, marbellanowtv.com. Well, that's it for us for this week. We hope you've also picked up your edition of the Euro Weekly News and read, of course, my column, Marbella Moments. We will see you again next week. Take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, y hasta la semana que viene. Gracias.
And it's time